Hello, hello.
Yeah.
What's up?
Cracking.
We're here. It's let's just be fully transparent. It is Saturday at 11 a.m.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we probably shouldn't even be here, but we're here and it's off and it's weird and traffic doesn't make any sense because I drive down here on Thursdays or Fridays and now I'm Saturday
Weekends
driving.
Insane.
You know, I wish this show was bigger, or I wish, hey, Joe Rogan, instead of bitching about fucking your rights or whatever, you pussy, they're probably going to delete this, but why don't you tell everybody if you're in the fast lane on the freeway,
yes,
and you're not like he would be, because he can do a lot. Like Joe's got a lot of power, and you're using it in shitty ways.
That's what we need. A force
he needs
for
to
good
be like
that.
do a big video, like, and have a big collage of it, and show syringes and shit, whatever you want to do.
It's not gonna help.
Everybody, did you know that if you're doing under 65, get the fuck out of the other fucking. It's a fast lane. If you're going in the carpool and you're doing under 65, you don't need to be in the carpool. Go over to that other fucking lane. What the fuck is with all of you?
It's funny with the carpool lane because I drive pretty fast, and every once in a while I'm in there doing, 80, maybe close to 90, and people just come up on me and tailgate, and I'm like, dude, I am doing my best here, like without completely being arrested every time.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tony Hawk, because yes. There's a rule. This is the rule of fast people, if you don't know. Because apparently, because I drive a lot, none of you fucking know this rule. If you're doing 80 and someone comes up your ass and you're in the fast lane at 80, that's his fucking problem and he needs to go around you.
I disagree.
That's the law of 8. If I'm tailgating you and
I'm talking about the carpool lane because you're kind of locked in.
Right, but if you're doing 80 and someone's behind you going, dude, and you're doing 80, you can tell them to fuck off. Because it's like, do you want me to go 90, 100 and get a really serious ticket? You're asking too much.
Yeah, but I think that it's
I should move.
I think it's on you to move. Yeah, because
okay.
I'm more in the mindset of, yes, I understand that's all speed limits and everyone's going over anyway, but I'm more in the mindset of like Autobahn. If someone is coming up on you, get over.
Wow, okay.
And if you look at how people drive, especially in Europe, that is without question their rule.
It's a good rule. It's a free rule.
You see someone come up on you, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get over because they're hauling ass. I mean, generally the especially like Autobahn, the left lane is only for passing. That's how they run it.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel like here where we live in Southern California, and now we sound like the Californians on SNL, but here in Southern California.
Smoker. I'm a midnight poker.
What are you doing in Marina Del Rey?
Changing lanes in the sun.
but the traffic here on weekends is absurd.
Yeah, no, it comes to a stop.
To a stop, absolutely. And so people think like, oh man, 5 o'clock traffic. No, Saturday and Sunday traffic.
Yeah,
in this area is outlandish.
Yeah, good word for it.
I'm taking my daughter to Knott's tomorrow. And I know that it should take an hour to get there. It's going to take us 2 hours, like for sure.
Because you're going back up there. Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was smooth sailing until we got from Camp Pendleton back into, hey, everybody, welcome to San Diego. And it's like, no. I know we're almost in San Diego, but let's all just stop.
Yeah.
And prepare ourselves.
Oceanside is rough.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
I don't get it. And also, if you're on a motorcycle and you're in the carpool and you go, wow. Am I supposed to get out of the, like,
they just want you to shift over a little bit. Yeah, but
is it legal for you to be splitting lanes in the carpool on a motorcycle?
I think it is, yeah.
Oh. Because sometimes as a motorcyclist, I will, because I understand what it's like when somebody cuts you off on a motorcycle, instead of you worrying about a fender bender, you thought you almost died. So when bike guys react like, what the fuck? I get it. Because you're like, you almost killed me. And I'm like, it's different than like, you almost scratched my car. Yeah. So I get that. But I also feel like sometimes those guys are like, wow. And I'm like, I don't answer to you. Like, it's a little entitled. But I guess if that's the law, then my bad.
Yeah, but it's not the law that you have to scoot over.
It's respect.
But here's the thing about, and
courtesy,
now this is like, we're talking about super privileged here and wham, but when you have a Tesla and you're on autopilot, it stays in the center of the lane.
Oh, it won't move.
No, not unless you forcibly move it and pull it out of autopilot.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'm in stop and go traffic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm in autopilot, it's fine, and then motorcycles come up just like, bam, bam, and then I have to like yank it out.
You will do it. Okay.
Oh yeah, I always do it, but it's just a whatever. It's like,
sometimes I don't lately. So I'm just like, shut up. Go around me.
But absolutely, rich people problems. Like, wham, I got to pull it out of autopilot so the motorcycle can go around me.
Oh, right. Yeah, autopilot sounds kind of cool though. I might, I just feel like I'm so bad at it.
So this is pretty funny. They just released a new, what was it? They're going to release full autopilot functionality, right? Which means like you hit the button and it drives you to the destination.
Takes off and everything.
Yeah.
And parks.
I don't know about parks. I just know right now you only can be mostly on the freeway. It stays in a lane and keeps a distance to the car in front of you. That's what it does now.
Okay.
That's the autopilot. But there's going to be full self-driving feature coming out. So when you got the last software update in the car, you can opt in to be monitored for your driving to see if you'll qualify to get to the autopilot. So basically like Big Brother's watching you and how you drive. And I just did it. I was like, yeah, sure. I want to check it out.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of hesitation about the whole autopilot thing.
Yeah.
Because I have seen how cars react to certain situations where what's happening because you have this human instinct.
Yeah.
And there's things that are happening where I'm like, the car should not be doing that. That's not safe.
Right.
And I've had those experiences. So, but I am curious of what will be the upgrade. What will it look like? So I opted in. And then my friend Greg, who also has a Tesla, he's like, hey man, have you checked your score? I'm like, my score? He's like, yeah, if you look on the app, it shows you your driving score and how they're rating it.
What?
and I'm like,
was it bad?
Oh no. I wasn't
you spit because he's been showing everybody, look at this crazy start. Look at this thing. It's got like rocket start. I
get marked down for sudden braking and hard turning.
You're getting fucked over so hard. They're like, wait, there's a 12-year-old behind the wheel of this car. Because every time I've been with you, you're like, hey, check it out. It's got this. Wait, it's got this. And I'm like, if I'm a robot watching how you drive, I'd be like, I'm about to call 911. He will not stop doing what's it called? Rocket launch or some shit.
Oh, yeah, dragster mode. Oh, no, dragster mode is off the table right now.
See what I mean?
Someone's watching. I'm not doing that.
Oh, you will not do dragster mode anymore?
It's only been a week. So
can you turn that robot off? Like, stop watching me while I do rocket mode?
If I choose not to be eligible for the upgrade feature.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still in. I'm still going. But here's the thing. He showed me that. I was actually, I went to New York. I went to New York for a meeting of all things, which seems crazy in this day and age, right?
It doesn't for you. And you're back, whatever.
No, but
you just went.
Everything's virtual.
You went, oh shit, I didn't realize that.
Everything's virtual.
Went there and they had to see you face to face.
Yeah, like I went there for 24 hours and had a meeting.
Was this one of those ones where they were like, we just want to get photos with Tony Hawk, or was this real? No. They really did stuff.
Good. These guys are serious.
Good.
And it's exciting. It's like it has a lot of potential. It's something I'm excited about. I can't talk about it, but
cool.
I'm stoked. It was worth it.
Yeah.
But as I'm flying home, I'm getting text from my friend Greg, and he's telling me about that. And then I was like, what? And then I looked on my score, and I was like, oh man, I got to step it up. And so on the drive home from the airport, it was full like 10 and 2.
You fucking idiot.
And then I finally got my score back up.
How long did it take to get your score back up?
A couple days, because I had 2 days of my average driving. Yeah. And then I have these 3 days of like perfect driving.
Yeah.
And so now my score is much better.
Oh, you can bounce back quick.
I mean, my average is like 85 right now out of 100.
Okay.
And Greg's at like 98.
Wow.
And I was like, how are you doing that? He goes, the way I'm driving is not sustainable, but I really want it.
What? I'm happy for Greg, but man, I'm not getting that. I couldn't do it. I can't do it.
There was some guy pulled in front of me yesterday, and then it gave me the collision warning. And I was like, damn it. Now I'm going to get marked down.
Oh wait, you get a mark for them cutting you off?
Yeah, because the car just knows that someone's in front of you too close, and it gives you a warning. And if I get a warning on the app, then the points deducted.
What about if you're on the roof ghost riding the whip? Does it know you're doing that?
Well, if you let go of the steering wheel when it's an autopilot, it knows.
Oh.
And it gives you a warning. It gives you 3 warnings, and then it shuts off autopilot for the drive.
You just made me realize if I had the money.
Riding the whip.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, it drives itself. The video, I'm doing music videos.
You're going to go Teen Wolf all the way home?
All the way home. I'm going to put a jacket on and fucking and conquer the world.
Someone else I know who shall remain nameless. He's a photographer.
I love, he has to be nameless because we're talking about ghost riding the whip. Like,
no, because he bought weights for his steering wheel so that he doesn't have to, because it knows if you're letting go of the steering wheel. And so he bought weights for his so that it's always has.
Wait, you can buy steering wheel weights?
Yeah, like full
to
mods.
rig it.
Yeah.
These aren't for lifting weights. These are purely to make your car think that you're wow.
Yes.
Okay. So he did that and that worked out?
Yeah, I mean, he goes to and from LA and never steers. But I don't trust that either. So
I know. I don't.
I'm not that dude that puts an autopilot and then starts reading a book or something. That's not me.
So what's the craziest of what's the least amount of attention that you pay when it's driving? Like how crazy do you go? You're on your phone, yeah?
Only if it's like an urgent text.
Oh, okay. So you're still like watching the road. You don't.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm much more skeptical of the whole thing because I've seen things that it does, and it's just like, nah.
Yeah, robots aren't. They're not there yet. I think once they're there, then they'll take us out. But they're just nowhere near.
Out.
Yeah, I mean, why need?
When they become self-aware.
Yeah.
Skynet. Are we talking about Terminator now?
Yeah, but they're just not there yet. It's just like you catch it. You guys don't even know how to drive yet. You fucking morons. Smash it into shit every time someone gives you I'm gonna drive in a state. And
how did we get on that?
Stuff.
What were we just talking about? I don't know.
Someone told me about that with there might be the vaccine that I got that I might eventually be taken over by some stuff that's in the vaccine,
and you'll have some subconscious urge to buy cryptocurrency.
Oh, that's what's gonna do. Because I was hoping it was because I was like, if I just turn into like a robot and then I just go to work every day and do whatever I need to do to make the robots happy, do they program me to worry about tomorrow? Because if they don't, it might be okay. Right. It might be okay. I'm just saying, like, this is, you're Tony Hawk. This podcast, if it's good or it's bad, you're okay. I am like, oh God, how many followers do we have? And then Jason Ellis show, I'm like, oh, it's doing okay. But every day I wake up going, man.
They deprogram anxiety.
Yeah. Like, what if I just went to work every day and did whatever it is that they want me to lift shit, dig holes.
And then just.
You mean I'm a lumberjack work all day?
Yay, I did it.
Yeah, and I get me, robot sandwiches. I'm just thinking, like, if I got a robot sandwich and I'm not worried about tomorrow because tomorrow I'm just digging holes again.
Pretty good life.
Right, and then you got all these other freedom fighters that are like, like, look out, like, because they're fighting the robots, I'm assuming, like, trying to kill us.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, I don't care, like, I'm like, versus what I do right now? I don't know if I'm really winning or losing.
I like that the silver lining of everything is that there's no more anxiety.
Yeah. Like, what if it's just me? You just like,
right.
I like robot sandwiches and work. Okay, let's go to work. Wait, is it time for a robot sandwich? Fuck yeah, love those. Tomorrow, more work and sandwiches.
Is there time for a relationship in there?
I hope not. Like, that seems pretty stressful. If I'm trying to be completely honest and I've got absolutely nothing to worry about, then I'm not fucking anybody. That's got to be just straight up sandwiches and work. Just shovel. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, water.
There's got to be a pleasure principle, though. It's got to like.
If it programs it in there, great.
Okay.
But don't make it too intricate.
Maybe you have to earn it. You can unlock it.
If you dig enough holes or you eat enough robot sandwiches, you get to bone a robot.
Everything's a robot.
It is. I'm not getting a fucking freedom fighter. They know better.
Wow. We just delved into sci-fi.
Sorry. Yeah, I just like, where are we going? What's the end of this? I know everyone's pretty worried about it. I'm like, what is the end, you know? I talked about Crewtown, I've always talked about it on the Jason Ellis show, when it all ends and we all fight and there's no laws, then it would just be Crewtown, which is be like, you know, fire and, you know, crazy people on the streets and shit, like just like Mad Max.
Right.
And like Crewtown, I feel like I do good in Crewtown. Like Tully always says to me, it's like, you seem like the kind of person that wants it to happen. That's the difference between everybody else.
I'm
like,
self-sufficient.
I don't want it to happen. I just know that if all hell popped off and it was just like each for their own, like nobody cares anymore, probably start drinking again. Like, well, let's go. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
All right. I'll probably kill some people and get their water and then make some sandwiches because I like those, not robot ones. So then I'll be infected, you know.
Wow.
And then I was thinking about I'll get.
Hold on, I'm gonna start getting script ideas.
Right. So
I'm gonna start writing all this stuff
I'm
down.
gonna kill people. I'm gonna use their rib cage as shoulder pads. So it's like my suit is.
Oh my God.
Is intimidating.
That's starting to sound like the movie you actually made.
Oh, The Woodsman?
Yes.
I'm not going to talk about The Woodsman on this show.
Okay.
Yeah, but sure.
We just did.
Why didn't talk about what The Woodsman was wearing?
Right.
Shoulder pads. That's
shoulder pads, yes.
Very intimidating.
Oh my God.
You need that
dude.
in Crewtown. You don't want to come in with a suit. You got to come in looking crazy. You know?
Yes.
Like monkeys. They're trying to take over the world. Did you know that monkeys, when they fight, they eat your genitals and your hands?
No.
Well, you don't want to fuck with that guy.
Okay.
So that's how I roll. If I'm in Crewtown, I'm going to eat your feet. No
so
one
you can't
fucks
get around.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yes. People will be like, wow, did you bump into Jason?
You picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, you fuck with the wrong guy. You tried to get Jason's water?
Yeah.
Man, you lose your feet for that.
Oh my God.
He takes his time too.
Wow.
And then spread the word, you know what I mean?
We're devolving.
Don't go over there. That's because you're hanging out with me. Sorry. You're devolving. It's because you're sitting right next to me. I do that.
Actually, I had dinner with Mark Mothersbaugh last night. And so, frontman of Devo, it's all real. We are devolving. Him. Yeah, we're working together. So,
wait, you're in a band or something?
No, we're working on a theater production, like a Broadway thing.
Are you acting in it?
No. I'm bringing skating to it.
Skating's in the play?
Yeah. Yes.
Actual skateboarding?
Yes, actual skateboarding.
Are you actually skateboarding in it?
No. I don't think I want to restart a career as a Broadway actor.
Yeah, but so wait, you're getting other skateboarders to be...
Well, okay, here, the concept is that we are doing a Broadway production with live skating and his music and a storyline about the ethos of like early days of punk and skating and how they've intertwined and you know how you can find your own path and there's a lot of messages in it. Yeah. But the hook, as far as I'm concerned, is that we have Mark's music and we have live skating. Yeah. To tell the story. So we've been working on it a couple of years, but we're getting closer to finalizing a script. And he's already done a bunch of songs and it's awesome.
Art. You're a fucking artist.
I don't know if I'm an artist, but...
You are a fucking artist.
It would be, I mean...
That's a what do you mean I don't know if you're... You made a play where you've got skateboarding explaining the arts of punk and skate. You're a full-on artist. and you told me that you went to some vegan restaurant in New York the other day. You're a fucking douche, bro.
That makes me a douche.
This guy over here
I was just trying to make you jealous.
We're going to play. And,
I was just trying to make you...
Oh, my God. I will roast you. Fuck you. I'm doing some art with the guy from Devo. We're doing a play at Broadway, you know, and then we're having some intricate fucking vegan meals in New York City. Wow. You're creative. Could you paint me? Like, what should I
do? Can I paint you? Yes. I'll paint you eating at Crossroads.
I want to, yes. Let's go to Crossroads and you stand on the other side.
You're giving me shit about eating, but you're all plant-based now.
Yeah.
And I just was trying to enlighten you that there's this amazing restaurant in New York.
I appreciate it.
Called ABCV. And I went there and it was very good. And that was it.
Most people that go to a plant-based restaurant don't have a play with the singer of Devo coming out. So you put them together and you're a douche.
Oh my God.
And awesome.
Okay.
Look,
I embrace it.
I'm saying you're a douche. Old school me is like, yeah, but I sincerely would not like you. But me now is like, you're getting older, dude. Like, you get let's do fucking 900. Like, really, for the rest of your life, you're gonna do 900s? You're a big fucking artist doing crazy art. Dude, Broadway show. Are you serious? That is mega. You know, I talked about that one.
We were down the line. We actually had some workshops going and doing people running lines and singing songs and stuff. And then
what do you do when you're watching this?
I choreographed the skating. Okay. So I got a crew of skaters. I built a bunch of ramps that fit on a really small stage where we would do this workshop.
Yeah.
And we created routines to music, like time to music.
Oh, shit.
It was pretty sick.
And you've already done that?
Well, we did a test run. We had 2 mini ramp quarter pipes facing each other. We had a little pyramid and a little rail. And it was just more like, can we do this in a specific space that would work on a stage? And we could. And then COVID hit and everything was, all plans were off. Broadway was just
they shut it down completely.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Broadway was like so far gone. So we put everything on hold, and now we're kind of getting back to what are we going to do?
I can't believe we're talking about Broadway.
When I took my daughter to New York a few weeks ago, she loves theater. She does theater, like she does in school.
Awesome.
So I was trying to find what Broadway was back at the time. Like I think as of now, most of the major productions are back, back to their usual schedule. But I was looking at what is available, and one of the only things I could find was they did an Office parody play, and she and I watched all of the Office series through COVID.
Okay, yeah.
And we had just finished it, and so I surprised her with it. And I was like, we're gonna go see a play. She's like, what is it? And I go, we're gonna see a play. And then we walked in, and she's like, this is Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, because she knows all about it.
Yeah.
How long does that play go? And how do you do The Office in a play? Is it just like a part of a...
They kind of, they run with some of the storylines that, and luckily we had just watched this, so I knew all the references. Because you got to be kind of a hardcore fan or be fresh in it to understand all of the things they're talking about. But it was fun.
Is that packed?
No. It was about half full, but we went to a matinee because we had to fly out that night.
Okay.
I think that probably the night ones are, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. Plays are, I never liked them. Never watched them.
But we're going back, and I'm trying to see Neil Brennan's play.
Who's Neil Brennan?
Neil Brennan is a comedian and a comedy writer. He wrote with Chappelle.
And he's doing a play.
He's doing his own, like a one-man show. I mean, it's a performance.
Okay.
But it's
so
a Broadway
it's stand-up, but it's on Broadway?
Yeah, they do that.
What's the difference between stand-up and stand-up on Broadway?
I think it's more like that you're telling stories. Maybe there's visual. I don't really know.
Yeah, there's could be a screen behind you.
Probably.
I was going to do that. I had the last time I had a manager, they said that I should do, my book and tell the story like Mike Tyson kind of thing. Like Mike Tyson did
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. So I had I don't know what you would call it, but somebody from the theater who was helping me tell my story and practice how I'm going to tell my story and the visuals that would be playing behind me. And we were doing it for once a week for about a year. It was kind of serious. And then,
do you mean that was going to be the schedule, or you did that?
I was being trained to perform in the theater and do this thing. And they were like, what other things we were going to do? Because, the rougher stuff, they were like, some of that might be better if it's like puppets, because it's to soften.
Puppets?
Yeah, because of the molestation thing. They wanted to cover
I understand,
stuff like that. So... But I was, my argument all the time was, I get it. And yeah, I do believe I have a crazy story, but I'm not the heavyweight champion of the world. That's a big help. I was never the heavyweight champion of the world. So it's like, come see my play.
Yeah, but it would be more, I think in your case, they're just relying on word of mouth and you gaining traction. And of course, Mike Tyson has a built-in audience.
Yeah.
But also when I heard he was doing that, I wasn't that interested in it. I was like, what is he gonna? That doesn't sound that, I don't know, engaging.
Did you change your mind when you saw video clips of it?
No, I heard all the word of mouth, and I heard people that went to it. They were like, it was awesome.
Right, because it looked, I didn't see it, but from the videos that I watched, it did look really awesome.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like my attitude was more like, I don't know, and then people said it was amazing, and so I feel like with yours, maybe there's no stigma attached to it because you're not as well known, and then you could just come out with like, wow, you got to go see this guy. You won't believe his story.
Right.
And the way he tells it and the way,
Right. Well, it's not too late because I've been doing stand-up and then I actually went to like a stand-up kind of school thing on Thursday where they got video cameras and a proper set and it's only like 5 or 6 comedians and you do your set and they film it all. And then after you do it, these other comedians tell you what you could do to make it better or things like I got
every time.
Yeah, and I got broken down like, hey, all comedians like have jokes and they write them like stories. Like you have stories. You really lived those stories. They're not made up.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't think it's a little like name droppy? Because I talk about China and Shane Carwin, and they're like, it'd be different if you made it up and you were just pulling famous people out of your ass, but it happened. You really did it. So you should definitely use that because everyone kind of has their jokes. But if you have an original person that comes up and tells a different side of stuff, you really stand out because everyone's kind of doing the same thing. So I got a lot of encouragement and a lot of like the process on how you break down how you would do comedy. How would you get better? How do you know? Because it's like you got to repeat your story. And I'm like, I fucking hate repeating myself.
I remember seeing a comedian once where he's like, so I was out to dinner in I don't know what city. It doesn't matter because I'm lying. It's like he's just a setup for a joke.
That's awesome. Yeah, but see, I feel like I at first I just told stories, and then every time I'd go back up there, I'd tell another story, and then I started to notice. I'm like, these guys are doing the same thing, and then someone pointed out to me, like, yeah, dude, it's not comedy unless you work on your routine.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So it took me like a couple of years to I stopped doing it because I was like, what? I'm not telling the same story again. It's stupid.
Yeah. I learned that I got a taste of that doing speaking gigs. I was doing a lot of speaking gigs over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I try not to make it rehearsed. I try not to make it scripted. And I tell my story and sometimes if there's a theme to whatever I'm like, there's a conference and there's a theme that's, we think outside the box or whatever it is, something like that. They're like, can you kind of hone in on that side of your story?
Yeah.
And so I'll focus on some aspect of that more. But it's weird because I am telling a lot of the same anecdotes. I'm trying to make it sound off the cuff, make it more fresh. And the audiences are way different every time.
Right.
And some things that I tell or a story or my joke about it kill. And the next day it's like, and of course that is the plight of all comedians where it's some audiences are awesome and some aren't. And it's not necessarily because of their performance.
Yeah.
It's just because of the vibe.
It's funny because they said, your stuff is really good. Because I was like, should I even have any of this stuff? They're like, no, it's all really good. But you might want to explain who you are and what you are before you go telling those stories because the way you look and if you start talking about trans people or something and you're not explaining that you're bi and that you're
right.
People could
they immediately think you're yes.
Like if I'm making a joke about China and I'm like, she was kind of a bit like a dude. And, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, she almost beat me or whatever. And people are like, oh, so you're just some dude who like makes fun of women for being jacked.
Right. Yeah.
So I have to but I can't just go, hey everyone, so I'm a pansexual. I don't know if you guys know what a pansexual is, but I understand like them, they, and I'm cool with everybody. Anyway, like I gotta make
here's my story.
Right. I gotta make it funny. So now I'm like, okay, how do I make a story about explaining my tweaked sexual preferences without like. But it really told me, it made me realize how hard it is for what I would call real comedians because I've got this angle. I mean, it's like half the people that are going to come and see me know me.
And well, I'm sure the big challenge with comedians is that they're some of the funniest stuff is the most offensive.
Right. And you got to read the room.
And
the room might not
it's
be
just like, right.
Right. The room might not be into that. And you have to have a plan B where you go, oh, here's my incredibly hilarious G-rated story. Like if they go, hey, soften your copy, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Man, I am running low right now.
The first stand-up for skate parks that we did was at a bowling alley. Did you go to that one? Yeah. So Blink 182. David Spade was there. What's that? David Spade, right? Yeah. But we were throwing everything against the wall, right? So we said that what happened was David Spade agreed to do it.
Yeah.
So it was our very first charity event fundraiser.
I remember.
And
it was awesome.
The first talent that we got booked was David Spade.
Yeah, I remember thinking, holy shit.
So we're like, okay, it's stand up for skate parks. That's what we're calling it.
Oh,
because we have a stand-up comedian.
Oh.
Right?
Wait, that's where the name came from?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then Blink agreed to do it.
Yeah.
But the only venue that would allow us or that we even could secure at the time was this bowling alley in LA.
Yeah.
And so
was that the bowling alley where the dude actually bowled?
No.
Oh.
Different one. Lucky Strike.
My bad.
Lucky Strike.
Okay.
We did go there on the skate park tour.
That's why it's confusing me. Yeah. Okay, good.
But this one's called Lucky Strike, and it was the first kind of that vibe where it's like bowling and it's partying and it's lights and it's more like a club vibe.
Okay.
Bowling. But anyway, they don't have a stage.
No.
So literally David Spade is performing on the bowling alley.
Yep.
And everyone's like where you would sit to bowl and wait for someone to do it. And he's doing his routine. And we didn't think about it at the time, but it's mostly kids and families.
Yes.
And he's trying to tone it down, but he just has to go.
Yeah.
And so it was not his best received audience. Right? And then Blink plays on the bowling alley and the sound is terrible.
Oh,
it's just echoing over everything. And so we learned a lot that day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's funny when you're just a person there. Like I was like, whoa, David Spade, this guy, we're fucking big time.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Blink 182.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to one thing he said. I didn't listen to the band. I was just like, Tony Hawk got Blink 182 and David Spade. Yeah. This thing is huge. It's funny how like you're running it and you're like, oh man, that's like, it's tough for him to do it. Or the audio.
I think it was more that I watched him and his friend perform too. And I watched them struggling. And it just, I felt bad. Like I felt bad that I put them in that position.
I think I recall hearing him make jokes about how it was going.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yeah. In the middle of it, like, okay, maybe.
So this is...
or he would start in a joke like, yeah, maybe we're not going to tell that one today.
Yeah, that's got to be a weird thing to...
So after that,
no more stand-up.
We got invited by Ron Burkle to do it at his home in Beverly Hills because his son was a skater and a fan. And he said, hey, Dad, could these guys do this at our house? Because they did do charity events and fundraisers at their house.
Okay.
And so we were there for the next 12 years.
Yeah.
And stopped having stand-up comedians.
Yeah, straight away.
Kept the name stand-up for skate parks.
Yeah. It's a weird thing how stand-up doesn't go with bands. Like every time that seems to be an argument for like, I know every now and then, like obviously.
Or they'll have a comedian try to introduce a band like Jack was
Black,
talking about.
I was going to say. And then what's his name that would always do, who's the guy that does
Jim
the
Brewer.
goat? Yeah, Jim Brewer does Metallica stuff because he does a Crazy James impression and a Lars impression. But if he didn't do a Crazy James and Lars impression, and he just did the I don't think the Metallica crowd would be happy about it. So it seems like, because I do Alice Mania, at one point I was like, why don't we have a comedian do stand-up as well as our bands? Our bands are mainly comedy bands. Like, yes, it's music, but the lyrics are funny.
Yeah.
And it really, people were like, oh, don't do that, Jason. I'm like, why not? Oh, that kills it. You can't have a comedian and a band. Like, the only way we could do it is if I came out and told jokes about people in the crowd, which I wouldn't call stand-up.
Right.
I'd be like, yeah, Tully's a fucking pussy, you know what I mean? And they'd be like, doo-doo, pss. And then the band's going to play. But if I had a real comedian who's actually proper funny, I had Dustin Ibarra play. And I had Dustin Ibarra, and then I had Be Real come out, and it was, I could tell people were like, "When's Be Real coming?"
Wait,
like,
Be Real was performing music?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hire him to be, he comes out with his boy with the turntables.
Yeah.
And then he gives you greatest hits next to the turntable.
That's amazing.
It's fucking sick. I actually.
So Cypress Hill.
Yeah. He'll do
all the hits.
Yeah. And then he does because he can fucking turntable.
Oh, wow.
So him and the boy and his homie.
I love Be Real.
Switch turntable and then the other dude does and then it's back in the fucking, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, he had everybody raging. So that Skankfest that I'm doing Alice Mania at, the guy that owns Skankfest, apparently he was going to have Linkin Park. No, sorry, worse. Limp Bizkit play, and they pulled out for some weird reason. And he's like, "Do you know anybody?" And I was like, to rival that, I'm like, "What about Be Real?" And he's like, "Do you know Be Real?" I'm like, "Of course I fucking know Be Real. It's my friend." I'm like, "I can ask him." He's like, "Dude, that'd be awesome." So I hit him up. So there's a huge chance that they're going to have that thing that I hired for Alice Mania. And I'm going to be so happy about it because he really is. There's no one that can hate him. Like, you don't even have to.
So my Be Real story, how I met him was when we were doing Thrasher King of the Road. And King of the Road, it's like a big scavenger hunt, right? Or trick challenges. That's how you get points.
Okay.
You get this manual for the first day, and it's like, here's all the things that you could do to get points. That's how the whole thing works.
I did not know that.
And so we have this team, obviously, that we knew had different skill sets.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of skate challenges, but some are just dumb, like, who's the make out with someone over 40 or something like that. Like, it's just
wow. Oh, you need
whatever.
me for that. I'd be on your team.
One of the teams actually called me for that because they had a girl on the team. I was like, "You guys stop."
You have to, dude, let's get Tony to make out with this old lady. It's gonna be awesome.
Or like one was get a Bones Brigade member in your van.
Nice.
And sometimes they're starting in Arizona. They're starting in Vegas. So so there's all these challenges, and one of them was get a rap art. A hip hop artist or get a rapper to skate with you. And the more album sales, the more points you get.
Oh, shit.
And so I had just done this trip that Exhibit was on. And so I hit up Exhibit and I was like, "Hey man, could you go meet these guys like for a skate session in LA somewhere?" And he's like, "Oh man, I'm recording." He's doing something. He's like, "What about Be Real?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "He sold a lot more albums than I did."
He has sold a lot of albums.
And I was like, "You think he'd do it?" He's like, I bet he would be down. And I texted him and he's like, "Yeah, man, just tell me where and when."
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, what's that?
He skated.
He went and met them in a parking lot.
Okay.
Like, stood on a skateboard.
Right.
They had a skate session.
Right.
And then off he went. And I was always like, that was the coolest thing to do. I mean, I'm talking about like within a span of 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, that guy, I can't get to the things that he does where you go, what? Like he's come to my house before to drop things off.
He said, and so I got to thank him. I did his podcast like a year ago.
Yeah.
And
I came on right after you.
Okay. And then I just said, "Hey, man, I never really got to thank you in person," but he's just like, "Yeah, man, I show up." That was it. Like I show up. And I was like, that is the best attitude and response.
He's the most no bullshit celebrity friend that I have. Like, I love Carrie Hart, but I can't get Carrie Hart to respond to me for shit. Yeah. And then, like, every now and then Carrie's like, feel free. I'm now a part owner, so I'm going to come on your show. And I'm like, yeah, right you are. And then sure enough, he disappears for fucking 3 months. I text Be Real. Be Real goes, "Yep, let me check with my manager and try to get those dates."
Yeah.
I was like, "You should come on the show too." He's like, "Yeah, which day do you want me?" I'm like, Tuesday or Wednesday? "Yeah, I'll get back to you." Sure. Like,
we got to get him on here.
Instantaneously.
We got to get him on here.
He would fucking love to come down here and do it. But if he comes down here and he lights one, you got to let him do it.
Oh, of course. Right. Okay, when I did that show, I got such a contact high.
That room,
there's
no
gnarly.
Escape. Yeah.
As we were doing it, I could feel my throat burning. Somewhere like 20 minutes, half hour in, and then it got to the point where I was like, I need water. I need something because this is painful. And then when I left, I went to drive home and I was like, nope. not driving anywhere. No, I was gonna go meet. That's right. I was gonna go meet my family because we set up this crazy sushi dinner in Manhattan Beach, and shout out to Yasu, Sushi Inaba. Anyone? They just got a Michelin star. Okay, there you go.
I just heard what that was the other day.
Okay, so Sushi Inaba. So we set up a dinner there. Yeah. And so I was driving there, and I just pulled over, and I was just like, I'm not. Got it. I gotta wait,
dude. I smoke weed all day, and those dudes, whatever the weed they've got is the strongest weed you can get. Homie right next to me had a dab bong, and he was doing his own joint and a dab rig.
Not stop.
Yeah,
they did not stop.
No,
yeah,
no.
And there was a dude. Oh man, I forgot his name. There's a dude that was also on the show from Detroit, and he had some strain that everyone like all of
Bobo.
Them. What's that?
Bobo probably. The older guy?
Yeah. No.
He has sunglasses on?
No, Bobo's in the band, right?
Yeah, but he's on the...
No. This guy is like, he was a guest.
Oh,
and he's a rapper from Detroit.
Oh, okay. All right.
I forgot his name. But he had it was like the Sasquatch strain or something crazy. And they were all just like, oh, and he brought one for each one.
Dude,
they're going, oh, yeah. And I was just like, I'm so done here. Yeah, that was, wow. There was a time where, I mean, it still happens, but whenever I get photos, if I'm smiling in photos, so many people are just like, oh my God, look how stoned he is. And for a while, it really bothered me. Because I was just like, no, I'm not. I don't. Like,
wait,
what are you talking about?
If you're smiling, people think you're high?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm just old. And so I used to reply back like, no, I'm just old. Like, that's what it is. You know, my face looks like squinty. I don't know what it is. And for a while, and now I'm just like, whatever, fine. Whatever.
Yes, I am. I'm super high. You want to buy some weed off me? I got it right now. Tony Hawk weed.
Sure thing, yeah.
I don't even skate anymore. I sell weed. That's my new job. Yeah, I remember when we did the cover for this show, there were the cast people were like, do you have one with Tony's eyes open?
Yeah. Well, that's because we were looking at the sun, too.
Well, I thought we were laughing. The fuck do you look like when you're laughing? Like, it wasn't a fake laugh. I wasn't like, I was like fucking laughing. We were laughing at each other for being models. It's stupid. Anybody takes photos of both of us just standing there, you better fucking get it quick, because after about 10 photos...
That was so funny taking that photo.
I feel stupid.
We're going to Atiba's house, like all rushed.
Yeah.
Your kids are waiting in the car.
I was like, I'm just going to do a photo shoot with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, so we needed to get photos for this show. And I was in LA doing something, and I hit up Atiba, and Atiba said, yeah, if you guys can come to my house today or tomorrow, we can do it. And I told Jason, he's like, well, I'm taking my kids to a game, but okay. And so we all converged at Atiba's house for a half an hour.
I love how lame we are that I tell my kids that I'm doing a photo shoot with Tony Hawk and Atiba, and they're like, yeah, we'll wait in the car. Like, they had no interest in seeing any of it at all.
All kids.
I don't know. I would have thought Atiba's pretty cool, you know? I'm fucking Tony Hawk's Tony Hawk. Like, a video games, like, meh. I'll wait in the car and watch my phone, watch TikTok videos. TikTok destroys you guys.
TikTok destroys.
It annihilates us.
It does.
Can't compare to them. I did a TikTok video I posted the other day of us doing this show and tagged the people that were on it. So it was Jack Black, Tony Hawk, James Hetfield, and Metallica. Yeah. So I hashtagged it. That was a good idea. Man. I guess that's how you play the game, huh?
Because it got a lot of traction.
Yeah, like 500,000 or something. And usually, sometimes I get like 2,000 likes for stuff. I'm like, what the hell? I don't understand TikTok. I usually don't like posting because I don't get it. I feel like I'm lame. I just like watching stuff on there.
Yeah, I don't have a good gauge about what will go off on TikTok, but every once in a while I have something and I go, this is short enough and interesting enough that it could probably be interesting.
Right.
So I'm way more picky about what I put out on TikTok.
Is that you all the way, or is that the team?
Everything is me. All my social media is me. Right. And it's funny because I had this conversation with Mark last night. Someone was running his for a little bit, Mother's Ball.
Right, we're back.
Because he didn't really have time to do it.
Yeah.
But he would read stuff that was supposed to be in his voice or like a caption. He's just like, that's just not me.
Right.
And
people know that too.
Yeah, I think it's a little different with him because I was watching his and I didn't think it was outlandish. It seemed like it was definitely it was curated in some way, but when I've seen, I just know how some people, they have a whole team of people doing it and whatever, and a lot of people think that's what I do, but I don't. And sometimes I'm not posting because I'm just busy.
Yeah,
I'm doing other stuff, like I'm living life, doing this. But it's I can't. I just don't trust anyone to do it in my voice. Like I know what I want to say or what I want to convey. And I know if someone else writes it, even if they're a super good writer, it's just not going to be of the same ilk.
Do you think your wife could do it? She'd be the closest, right?
Yeah.
Because I think my wife sometimes texts people back on my behalf or if I'm driving or something, and she does like the, for sure, mate, or something, like she'll do mates.
But my wife she is not play in that realm. Like,
right.
When we did the thing with Lil Nas X, or we did some collab things, she's just like, no.
Wait, you were like, could you come and hang out? And she's like, no.
Rolls her eyes.
You and Lil Nas X.
No, I'm not inviting her. I know not to invite her. It's more that I'm even considering doing something.
You and I have the same wives. Like when it comes to that stuff, like come join me. And she's like, come join you.
No, I'm not.
At the ramp with your friends? I'll be okay.
No, in no way was I encouraging her to join me. It's just more that her gauge of what's worth the time and what's cool is very what's the word I'm looking for? Cutthroat. Yeah. Yes, where nothing is going to play.
It's a weird thing to be in a spot where you're like, because you and I think the same thing. Like if it's Lil Nas X, we're going the ramp, you're going to dress something. I'm like, something's happening here.
And I think it's funny.
And, and I want to be a part of it. Who knows where this goes from here?
Right.
But Kathy's like, I have no interest in where this would go. In its wildest dreams, wherever it could go, I'm not interested in it.
No, nor am I endorsing it.
Right. It's like, is there going to be a nice restaurant? I'll go to that. But if Lil Nas X is there and you're dressing like Lil Nas X.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's not, there's no discussion of her joining in or being there. It's more that you're going to go do that. That's what it is.
Like you're crazy for going.
It's not that you're crazy. It's just like, what do you do? You know, is this a priority? Is this, and a lot of times that we will disagree.
Yeah,
because I go, I think it is. I think it's funny. I'm entertained by it, and he's cool. And we have this weird thing that happened, that transpired, that people think is beef, and I think this will be a really funny way to bring it together.
Yeah.
Same with Avril Lavigne, like going to skate her mini ramp in Malibu. Like that is not driving from here to Malibu to go shoot a little TikTok video it's an ordeal.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's it. You know, you're going to spend your Saturday just on the freeway to go do this thing. And I was like, I think it's funny. Like I've never had any interaction with Avril Lavigne. And I think this would be a really funny thing, that her very first TikTok is Skater Boy. And that I'm going to be the skater boy. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, what would have been even more hilarious is when she slammed, that was so close to breaking her leg. Like she has no idea.
Yeah,
to fall like that on the back of your ankle like that. I'm like, I've seen so many people snap their shit doing that. Yep. And you just got up and went, hey. And I was like, a couple more pounds of pressure. And that would have been the most horrific shit of her life.
Of course, you know that
slam
I saw it.
Yeah, because you were standing there.
Yeah, but I mean, you know that I watched it unfold. Like, oh no, she's okay. Okay, she's okay.
Right, you would have thought, like, oh my god, full on ambulance.
I watched her step back, and it was like, as soon as she stepped back, I was like, no.
She was as dangerous as they come on that mini ramp. I was like, get your tricks and get them quick, and then get her off that ramp.
But that wasn't the thing we came to shoot. That was just like after the fact. I showed her how to drop in, and that was like the little thing that I did.
Bonus to send her to the emergency room.
But also, you know, for me, I brought Lizzie. Lizzie wanted to meet her. I brought my goddaughter Olivia Underhill, and she was excited to meet her. So for me, it's just like this cool thing that sort of falls in my lap, and it's like, yeah, let's go do that. That sounds, and it went, of course, crazy viral because it was her very first TikTok.
Right. Oh yeah.
So it was all over the place, and I'm stoked. I did it. Whatever, it's fine.
All those things that you do, I know your wife might think that they're a waste of time and that you're a bit of an airhead for going there, but it's not. It's like your birthday, dude. Your 50th.
She doesn't think I'm an airhead.
I know because I shouldn't have said that.
She respects that
because she knows all your skateboard stuff. She know, like when you said that I made a kickflip beanie, and your whole family was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And what's a kickflip beanie? And Kathy comes flying and goes, "Hell yeah, that's somebody that really knows,
absolutely,
and respects your job."
No, and she respects that there are things that I choose to do that maybe she doesn't really understand what the benefit is of it, and why I'd want to waste time on it.
Yeah.
But she respects that I have some good. I have, there's some intuition there that she's like, all right, go.
I think it's one of your best qualities because you're like missing the bit of your daughter. I forgot her name. Ray's daughter,
Olivia.
Like these people you're making wishes come true. Like your 50th birthday. That's why I know the difference between my 50th and your 50th, besides that many people showing up. But the people that wanted to say something on your behalf, I wanted to say something because I was triggered by Eric Costin saying, this guy did this for me back this, he did this for me. I remember at one point I needed some help with this. And then Rodney Mullen comes up. He's done this for me. He's done that for me. I'm like, you've done all you've done. I mean, you skateboard, you did me. Sure, you did your thing. But you also gave so much to all of us because I'm like, Tony Hawk made me. Tony Hawk saved my life. I mean, the radio show, the tours, all the things that I can think of. We're doing this. All the things that I think of that have made my life so much better from you. Sorry to try to make you uncomfortable right now. I'm kind of looking at you, but it's everybody thinks that. You do that for everybody, not me. I was like, man, wait till everyone hears my story about how much he helped me. And then there's like 10 dudes that were like, he did this. And I'm like, oh shit. He fucking helped everybody. You do a lot for everybody.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean,
it's an awesome trait.
Yeah. Of course, I found myself in this unreal position to be able to affect change and to help people come up in terms of
you bring
skateboarding.
Us.
But it's just so fun. Like I can't. It brings me so much joy to see everyone thriving.
Right, which is a fucking amazing trait, to get joy out of giving joy to others. It's weird to say that you're odd. You all should be doing this, by the way. But yeah, to me, it really stands out. I got a lot of famous friends with a lot of connections. You're the one where it's like, you want to do this? And I'm like, do I want to do that? Yeah, I want to do that. Holy shit, are you sure? And you've done it for all these people that have
thank you.
Decades of like Rodney Mullen. Dude, Rodney Mullen was crying when he was talking about you on your 50th because you've done so much.
But you know what, Rodney? Rodney and I have we've helped each other so much through really strange psychological struggling.
It's a weird thing to know that both of you were so good yet so uncool and hated by a giant chunk of people for being like too infatuated with skateboarding and not with drugs and alcohol. Like that's as far as I could get it. Like people didn't like you and Rodney because you were nerds or something. Like I'm like, what?
Oh, for sure. We were nerds, but also just but in terms of our competitive success, he and I only really identify with each other because we didn't have anyone that was experiencing what we were experiencing and the loneliness that came with it and the isolation and also the idea that there's so much pressure on you to do better now. And we would come to events and if we did the same thing they saw at the last event, they're like, nah, that doesn't fly. Even if maybe that was the better run or like the winning thing to do, they're like, no, you guys got to step it up. And so we were under this tremendous pressure to just keep outdoing ourselves. And then he burned out quicker than I did because his ascent was so fast that he was winning contests immediately, everything. Like I worked my way up to where I was starting to do really well over the course of a year or two. His was like, as soon as Rodney was pro in a pro event, win.
Not even close.
He only got second once.
One time.
Did
he fall off?
He stepped off. Like his foot hit the ground.
Right. So his mistake. Otherwise, it's done.
Yeah, Paralander won. But
greatest day of his
he
life.
was just like so he said that it was his dad that forced him out because he had issues with his dad already, and so that was just his way of saying like, oh, I can't do it anymore. But in reality, he just couldn't take it anymore. And so when I told the story in Bones Brigade Doc or whatever, but when I was struggling with that and feeling isolated and wanting to quit competing, I called him up. And I was, cause I told Stacy that, and Stacy's like, well, here's the thing. You can't make a living unless you're competing.
Yeah.
In the time, in the 80s, if you weren't showing up at the contest, you're not going to get pictures in the magazine.
Right.
There were no video skaters.
Such a different world now.
Yeah. So you had to be and so he said, what do you think you're going to do? And I said, I think I'm going to make videos. Like I want to be. And he's like, if you're not in the top 3 or whatever in these events, no one's going to care. We're not going to highlight you on video. And it was just like, so he goes, but I think you should call Rodney, because Rodney went through the same thing. And so Rodney and I talked for a while. And Rodney told me how he finally sort of let go of the pressure and let himself be free to fall or do whatever. And he found a new creative streak, and he felt a lot better about his skating. He didn't compete all the time, but sometimes he did. Yeah. And when he did, he took chances. Right. And that's what I did. I stopped competing for a little bit, and then I came back to it and was like, it's all or nothing. Like I'm going to try the hardest stuff. And if I don't make it, I don't make it. If I make the finals, wah. And it was way more fun, and I actually got way better.
What year was this where you stopped?
It was probably around 89. Like 88, 89. Yeah. I skipped a few events.
Fuck.
And then when I came back.
Is that because you didn't go? Is that why you didn't go to Munster, the World Cup in 91?
Most likely. Oh, no, not 91.
Was it 90?
Probably.
Because it was Miller and...
Yeah, probably.
And not you.
Yes.
I'm like, where's you?
Yeah.
There's a giant piece missing here.
Yeah.
Like Miller's winning easily today.
But also, like I said, it allowed me to really be more creative and have more fun. And I was just like, it was sucking the fun out of skating. And it was like, the reason I do it is because it's fun. And now I'm not having fun, and I'm winning all the events. Like something's wrong with this picture.
Man, that is crazy. Like I remember not having that much fun because I just couldn't seem to keep up, and I wasn't like, if I was winning, it'd be pretty hard to stop. I can only tell you that I don't understand what it's like. I can never understand what it's like to be in that spot where I'm winning so much and it's killing me. I don't like being here. Because if the pressure, everyone's expecting me to do more.
It's the same thing that bands go through when they have this huge success, and then they just despise the thing that's supposed to give them the most joy. Because they're just playing to these crowds and they're just going through the motions, and it's just like that's the whole premise of The Wall. Pink Floyd is that you just build a wall between you and the fans because you can't even deal.
Wow. I mean, I feel, you know what? As close as I've got is Alice Mania. When Alice Mania was really charging at the Hard Rock, we took over that weekend. Like every time I was there were people. I remember a girl walking in front of me around the circle bar, and she had a red dragon tattoo on her spine. And I was like, whoa, cool tattoo. And she went, holy shit, you're you. And I'm like, yeah, wow. And then, holy shit. And someone's trying to text me, and I'm like 20 people lined up on a court next to the bathroom to take photos with me. And I'm like, I can't even answer this text message. Okay, yeah. And it's just like, fucking go, go, go. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I remember thinking, I don't like this. Like, if this was my life, like if I left the Hard Rock and it was
that's it. That's it. Watch what you wish for. Absolutely. That's it. You got there and then you're like, wait, what? This is not what I imagined.
It's scary. And it does make you pull away. Like it took me a long time because I did Alice Mania for people to fight and that had never fought before. And I was like, how was that for you? Scary, right? Because I just did it and I was scared. But do you feel good? Yeah. And I was looking for that eye to eye, like, you got to fucking be thrilled. And they're like, I fucking am thrilled, man. I'm like, I got you. I gave you that fucking thing. Right. And then it turned into this big hype thing where now I've got drunk people, you're like, Ellis, fucking, woo, and vomiting. And I'm like, I I wasn't trying to make you be here. I was trying to make people like go, man, my life has been changed from you. No,
I mean, you gotta take it all.
I remember doing one out by the pool, and a guy had American flag Speedos on, and he was right up against the counter, and I was on the other side, like, Ellis, you're the best. And he's like, dick in his American flag thing is hanging on the table. And it had been hours. We did a 3-hour show, so I'm just not even paying attention to him anymore, and his American dick that's hanging on the table. And then I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden I hear, blah, 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 and I look over, and he's vomiting. He's vomiting down his chest over his American Speedo dick onto the table. And I'm like, you think we could... Can we get him out of here? Or fucking a man is vomiting on me while I'm doing a broadcast. Millions. We moved him out. I remember going, This is not exactly what I was trying to accomplish.
Right.
But that dude's still a fan. Every now and then I get it. Remember me? I'm the guy that vomited on my Speedo dick. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I totally remember you. Never gonna forget you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a great show. I don't know why I'm trying to do it again.
But that's the thing. Okay, so we get back to, like, you're doing those events, and then there's the expectation to outdo yourself every time.
Yeah.
So you're trying to outdo it. And so when we were competing, like, what's better, come up with a new trick? And same thing happened with that Stand Up for Skate Parks event. We had to keep outdoing ourselves by getting, like, the heavier and heavier bands. Yeah. And at some point I was like, I'm not enjoying this.
Could have you just got a band that you enjoyed and wasn't bigger? Like,
I did, but I felt the pressure. I think that's what it is. It's self-imposed.
Right. It's your trait. That's why you're so good at skateboarding.
You know, we had Jane's Addiction, and we had Black Keys, and we had Modest Mouse and X, and it was unreal. Like the caliber of bands that we had playing there. Blink-182 came back and did it again.
Yeah. Outside sounded way better.
Yeah. Pennywise.
That's right.
Who else? It was crazy.
A lot of people.
And then every year it was like, who's it going to be? Like, I don't know.
It's crazy
Rolling
that you
Stones?
thought that. Like,
where do you go from here?
I was like, what's he going to have this year? I'm like, it just like, if you had any of those guys come back, awesome.
Right.
Wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, how come you don't have Metallica?
But it started to become more that it was like the place to be seen. To say you went, and the fundraising started to fade.
Wow, see, that's a fucking thing that I got with Ellis Mania. It got to the point where people...
they just want to say they were there.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm so far away from doing it for you. You don't get it. I actually don't even like you. That's how much you're doing the wrong thing here, like pushing people or being inappropriate. I'm like, dude, I got us all here to be friends.
Yeah.
Get the memo.
Well, I was doing it to raise money for skate parks.
And you're just there to fucking
and it was more people are just there to get selfies like, look at that, Perry Farrell, woo, I'm here.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you get a good thing and then everyone jumps on it and turns it to shit.
Yeah, but it was just that was the nature of the beast. Those fundraisers are tricky and a lot of times they'll do especially when they have big acts. If you go to a big Hollywood fundraiser where someone like Billy Crystal was going to perform, or back when Robin Williams was alive, and they're going to wait and do crazy auction items, like kind of make you sit through the fundraising before you get to that.
Yeah.
And we never ran it like that because I didn't like that you were like trying to hold people there.
Yeah.
Forcefully. So we have silent auctions and whatever, and yeah, it was great, and Ron Burkle like has my utmost respect and gratitude for letting us invade his house every time, tearing up his lawn.
It was amazing,
crazy.
Yeah.
It was a blast. So and then at some point when we stopped doing it, it was like we had a good run. We did it for over 10 years.
Yep.
Raised pretty good money consistently, but we have to find a different fundraising model.
Right. That's how I feel about Ellis Mania. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I'd already be moving on. But I said I was going to do it, and I will freaking do it. So I'll do this little one, and then next year I'm going to do a giant one. I'm going to put that comedian to sleep. You're getting snored. Just for a second, I'm going to be real mean. And then when you wake up, I'll go get you a beer and shit. We'll be friends. And then I'm done. I'm pivoting into something else. Yes,
whoa. Hollywood speak.
People call me. I know some people. They suggested.
I've had how to use that word.
I've had some pivot suggestions.
We're pivoting.
When SiriusXM gave me that really bad call, I had some friends reach out. A lot of people mentioned pivot, Jason. I kept getting calls for more pivots.
I remember I had a. It wasn't that I was scolded, but I came onto this. I was doing a podcast. I can't remember. This was months ago, and it was right after our last game came out, the remaster, and I came on. And they were talking about doing a competition with the game, and I thought I was judging all the people doing it and I didn't read the fine print of the email that was like, no, you're competing, and I was supposed to have
such a big change.
I was supposed to have all this equipment to pipe in my PS4 into the thing and do the thing,
wow.
and then I came on. They're like, well, okay, so you got the. I go, I'm what? No, I don't know, and they have all these. They had some pretty heavy comedians and people that were there live
with their rigs.
Yeah. And I just heard I heard the production or the director in my ear like, "All right, we're pivoting. Tony is not playing, and he's just going to
Tony's not.
He's going to critique the others. That's what we're doing. Like, rehash this whole thing." And I could tell in his voice, it was like super annoying.
Yeah, you fucking ruined everything. Yeah.
But it turned out good because I literally did get to critique. And I would have beat everyone except one dude was killing it.
All right.
And I'm not afraid to lose on the game, but I didn't have the stuff.
All right.
That's my story.
All right. All right. There's plenty more stories next week. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you like and what are you saying?
Like and describe.
Yeah, like and describe it.
Like and abide.
Do that too. But also, not to get too confusing, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that helps us.
That helps us.
Yes. But you can also describe the shit out of it.
If we need to go literal, please like and subscribe to the Hawk versus Wolf YouTube channel. Thank you very much for doing that.
And a 5-star and a review on iTunes. That helps too, I heard.
Okay.
That's it though. That's all you have to do.
Those are all the things. Thank you. That's all we ask of you.
That's it.
So we can continue to bring you these stories.
It's just one little ask.
And we'll try not to repeat ourselves. I'm getting old. Sometimes I repeat stories.
I know. I got brain damage, so I'm definitely going to repeat myself.